တန်ယုတ်ပါဠိတော်ဒုက္ခဓမ္မတုတ်တံဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဖျားရှင်ဤတပည့်များဖျားရှင်ဤတပည့်များသည်ဆင်းရဲခြင်းတရားတို့ဖြစ်ခြင်းပြည့်ခြင်းဆိုတဲ့သဘောတရားတွေကိုအမှန်တကယ်မြင်တတ်တယ် In English the disciple of the Buddha always understand the appearance and disappearance of the sufferings အဲ့ဒီလိုမျိုးမြင်တတ်တဲ့ပုဂ္ဂိုလ်မျိုးကိုဖျားတပည့်လို့ခေါ်တယ်ဆင်းရဲခြင်းတရားရဲ့ဖြစ်ခြင်းကိုလည်းမြင်တတ်တယ်ဆင်းရဲခြင်းတရားရဲ့ချုပ်ခြင်းကိုလည်းမြင်တတ်တယ်ကာမဂုဏ်တရားရဲ့အပြစ်တွေကိုလည်းပဲမြင်တတ်တယ် The weak points of the sensual pleasures he will understand the weak points of the sensual pleasures and the bad points and the flaw the sensual pleasure has the many bad things it's not good for the people but the practitioner the follower of the Buddha understand it very well ဆိုတော့ကာမဂုဏ်တရားရဲ့အပြစ်ကိုကောင်းကောင်းနားလည်တဲ့ပုဂ္ဂိုလ်ကာမိစန္ဒစတဲ့ကာမချန္ဒကာမစနေဟကာမမုချာကာမပရိလာဟ desire for the sensual pleasure never torture your animal အဲ့တော့ကိုယ်တန်တန်ကိုကာမိစန္ဒစတဲ့တရားတွေဝင်ပြီးမနှိပ်စက်နိုင်လောက်အောင်သဘောအဖြစ်အဲ့ဒီအနေအထားရောက်တဲ့အထိကာမဂုဏ်ရဲ့အပြစ်ကိုမြင်သွားတယ်ထွက်ပြေးခြင်းတယ် You want to run away from the sensual pleasures you never pursue you never follow the sensual pleasures anymore after practicing the teachings of the Buddha that is the teachings of the Buddha as an introduction အဲ့တော့ဖျားတရားကိုနားတဲ့ပုဂ္ဂိုလ်များဖျားတရားကိုကျင့်တဲ့ပုဂ္ဂိုလ်များသည်အဲ့ဒီလိုအသိတွေရလာလို့ကာမဂုဏ်တရားရဲ့အပေါ်မှာအပြစ်တွေမြင်သွားပါလိမ့်မယ်အပြစ်တွေမြင်သွားတဲ့အခါကျလို့ရှိရင်လောကမှာနေနီးထိုင်နီးကောင်းကောင်းသိသွားမယ် When you see the weak points of the sensual pleasures you will know how to live how to behave in the future then you will be safe you will reach nibbana no doubt you will reach nibbana if you don't have sensual pleasure sensual desire anymore yes it's sure obviously you have a chance to reach nibbana you have a chance to feel the peace in your heart now let me start my teaching in English the topic is attaining 5 levels of jnana by paying obeisance with mindfulness it was taught by the Sadhamaran Sisayada now I will read all the paragraphs and I'll explain my explanation will follow after the reading the first paragraph yogis yogi vipassana jnana grounded in paying obeisance to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, teachers and parents do so with mindfulness. One paying obeisance, if the yogi means practitioner, if the yogi notes, starting from the intention to pay obeisance, he or she will have the knowledge of 5 levels of jnana in accordance with the series of jnana that he has attained. Well, the very basic practitioner, the very first practitioner, the beginner. For the beginner, you can have, if you pay enough attention to your practice, you will have 5 levels of jnana. The basic levels of jnana. Jnana is some kind of knowledge, your intelligence. 5 levels of intelligence. In paying obeisance, paying respect to the Buddha. Sometimes you pay respect to the Buddha, sometimes you pay respect to the Dhamma, sometimes you pay respect to the Sangha, and sometimes you pay respect to the teachers, sometimes you pay respect to the parents. While you are doing so, you have mindfulness. When you pay every action, now paying respect, you are bending your body, bending down your body, but you have the mindfulness. You're mindful enough to know every stage of the manner of the paying respect to the Buddha. Then you will have the 5 levels of jnana. I will explain about it later. One paying obeisance, if the yogi notes, starting from the intention to pay obeisance, every action is started with the intention. For example, when you walk, first of all, you have the intention to walk. When you sit down, first of all, you have the intention to sit down. Because of that intention, you carry out your action. you start to move, you start to act. So, when paying obeisance, if the yogi notes, starting from the intention to pay obeisance, he or she will have the knowledge of 5 levels of jnana in accordance with the series of jnana that he has attained. The jnanas, the intelligences, or the wisdoms, they have the 5 levels. You will get it later. First of all, I'll explain that. I'll read them all in English. The first jnana is Nama Rupa Paricheda jnana. And the second jnana is Paccaya Parikaha jnana. The third jnana is Samasana jnana. The fourth jnana is Udyapaya jnana. The fifth jnana is Banga jnana. So I want you to repeat after me. First of all, you have to remember all the levels, 5 levels of the jnana. Only then it will be okay for you to listen to my explanation. So, repeat after me. Nama Rupa Paricheda jnana. Paccaya Parikaha jnana. Samasana jnana. Udyapaya jnana. Banga jnana. Now you have to learn those 5 levels of jnana. In Burmese, Nama Rupa Parisera jnana, Pisya Parikaha jnana, Tamatana jnana, Udyapaya jnana, Banga jnana. But according to the original Pali, Nama Rupa Paricheda jnana, Paccaya Parikaha jnana, Samasana jnana, Udyapaya jnana, Banga jnana. Those are called Vipassana jnanas. When you meditate, first of all, for some people, you will note breathing in and breathing out at the very first level. Breathing in and breathing out, you just know the breathing in, you just know the breathing out, you just know the rising of the abdomen, you just know the falling down, falling of the abdomen. That's all. You don't see anything anymore. You don't see ahead. You just stop at the stage in which you see only the arising and disappearing. That's all. Breathing in and breathing out. It is called samatha, not the vipassana. When you reach the vipassana jnana, you must have those 5 levels of jnana. So, let me read second paragraph. If yogis who have reached Nama Rupa Paricheda jnana and Paccaya Parikaha jnana do not pay obeisance to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, teachers and parents hurriedly. It means do not hurriedly pay obeisance to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, teachers and parents. But by giving special attention, the intention to pay obeisance is evident, is obvious, is clear. You have the intention. First of all, the intention is very clear to know. The intention is very obvious to know. It's the most distinct thing before you act something. You have the intention. When you want to talk about something, for example, you say one word, oh, very good, oh, very good, 3 syllables. So to say those 3 syllables, first of all, what do you have? Intention. Now I'm going to say, oh, very good. So you have the intention first. The yogis, first of all, he or she will notice, he or she will find out there exists intention before the action. So, by giving special attention, the intention to pay obeisance is evident. The yogi must note this intention. So, you have to note that intention first. How? Intending to pay obeisance, intending to pay obeisance. Now I'm talking about the only one action, paying obeisance, paying respect, not other action. Later I'll explain about the other actions, going, sitting, everything. Now just the paying obeisance, paying respect. Intending to pay obeisance, intending to pay obeisance. You have to note like that, the very first step for the beginner. The beginner practitioner must note like that. Intending to pay respect, intending to pay respect, first of all. Then, when the bodily action arises, the yogi must note paying obeisance, paying obeisance. Okay, now just look at me. For example, this is your body. Now you are going to pay respect to the Buddha, like this, bowing your head, like this. So, when you want to pay respect to the Buddha, first of all, you have the intention. So you have to note, intent to pay respect, intent to pay respect. Then your bodily action arises, bowing. Okay? Then you have to note, paying respect, paying respect, paying respect, paying respect, step by step, step by step. Paying respect or paying obeisance to the Buddha, paying obeisance to the Buddha. It is how to know the bodily action. Before noting the bodily action, first of all, you have the intention. But you have to be careful enough to see, to catch that intention. For example, now you want to stand up. Before standing up, you have the intention. Oh, I want to stand up. I want to stand up. That is your intention. So, intending to stand up, intending to stand up. First of all, you have to note like that. And after the bodily action arises, standing up, like this. Similarly. Then, when the bodily action arises, the yogi must note paying obeisance, paying obeisance. When the yogi can note the intention to pay obeisance and the bodily action of paying obeisance, the yogi will know for himself or for ourselves that he has attained Nama Rupa Paricheda Jnana and Paccaya Parikaha Jnana, the two levels of Jnana. Okay. By doing so, you will have two levels of knowledge, Nama Rupa Paricheda Jnana and Paccaya Parikaha Jnana. I'll tell you again. The knowledge of Nama Rupa Paricheda and the knowledge of Paccaya Parikaha. You will have two levels of jnana only in one action. How? First of all, you have to note the intention. Then you have to note the bodily action. When you are able to see your intention and your bodily action at the same time, it is called that you have two levels of jnana. You attained two levels of jnana after noting intention and bodily action. Okay, I'll explain you later. Let's go ahead. How Nama Rupa Paricheda Jnana is attained. 1. The intention to pay obeisance, having consciousness of the object, is Nama. You have to learn very well, carefully, what is called Nama, what is called Rupa. Now this is the best way to differentiate between the Nama and Rupa. Pay the intention to pay obeisance. It has the consciousness. What kind of consciousness? The consciousness of the object. You know you have the intention. We know every mental behavior and every physical behavior. We know everything. So, when you have the intention, of course you know that intention. I have that intention. When you act something, sitting or standing, of course you know that action very well. So, only the intention to pay obeisance, having the consciousness of the object is Nama. It is called Nama. Your intention is called Nama. It is mental thing, not the physical thing. Now you see differently. You can differentiate Nama from the Rupa. Your intention is just the Nama. And then, because the bodily action of paying obeisance, having no consciousness, is Rupa. Rupa is physical thing. It doesn't have the consciousness. Your bodily action is Rupa. For example, now you're sitting. You're sitting. Do you have the intention to sit down? Of course. Now you have the intention to sit down. That's why you are sitting. Now you see that the intention together with your consciousness, you know that you're sitting. That knowing or that consciousness is called Nama. Together with your intention. Intention is also mental phenomena. Mental phenomenon, and also your consciousness is also mental phenomenon. So they are called Nama. But your bodily action, paying respect, paying obeisance, having no consciousness, it doesn't have. Now your bodily action of sitting doesn't have the consciousness. Bodily action is separate thing. Your mental consciousness is separate thing. Your intention is separate thing. It is mental thing. Your bodily action of sitting is separate thing. So intention is Nama, consciousness is nama, but bodily action is rupa, physical thing. Now you know what is nama and what is rupa. The rupa, which is known differently, you have to know differently what is nama and what is rupa. For example, let's think about one action. You are walking. Could you please tell me? Now, just like the discussion about that. Now you're walking. First of all, you have to try to notice your intention. Now you just want to lift your foot. You have the intention to lift. Now you have the intention to push forward. Yes, you have the intention. And you have the intention to drop down. In one step of walking, you have 3 stages of mental action, mental intentions. Intending to lift your foot. Intending to push forward your foot. Intending to drop down your foot. Okay? So that is mental action. Only the mental action. Mental action are intended, and your bodily action is walking, walking, walking. Okay? Your action of walking manner, it's physical thing differently. You will see your walking manner differently. It is called rupa, separately. So, can I ask you now? Now you're walking. You're walking, how can you notice there exists nama? How can you notice? How can you catch there exists nama? When you find out there is consciousness or there is the situation of knowing, oh, your mind. Okay, I'll tell you clearly, mind and matter, okay? You notice your mind, the mind that you know you are walking. It is called, you catch the nama. You can catch the nama. You can notice the nama at one point. You got it? So what is rupa? In walking, what is rupa? Walking manner, walking manner is rupa. Yes, now we see nama and rupa in one step. Okay, now I'll ask you another thing. For example, now you are writing the letter. Writing the letter, could you please differentiate the nama from the rupa? What is nama? In writing action. Intention to write. If you don't have the intention, how can you write? No. If you don't, we people always do something because of our desire. If we don't have the desire, we don't do anything, okay? If you're not willing to do anything, nobody can ask you to do that. We have to notice that. First of all, you have the intention of writing. Oh, for example, now I'm going to write a letter to my beloved one. I mean parents, okay? Now I'm going to write a letter to my parents. I'm going to write a letter to my friends. First of all, you have the intention. And you notice that there exists the intention. That intention is not a physical thing. It is just the mental thing. So it is called nama. And then your bodily action arises. Writing, holding the pen in your hand, and you're writing the letters on the paper. Well, now bodily action arises. What do you call that? It is rupa. Why? Because it is physical action with no consciousness. The physical action of writing the letter can't know. Only your mind can know. Okay? The physical action can't know anything. Physical action is just physical action. It is rupa. Okay? Now, in writing the letter, you can differentiate the nama and rupa. Okay. Now, let's think about another thing. You are talking. Could you please differentiate nama and rupa? Before talking, you have the intention. I will say the nice words to him. Oh, I will condemn him. Oh, I will curse him. You have the intention, okay? The good point of practicing meditation is when you are qualified enough to control your mind. To be able to control your mind is you must have the, practice, very well practice. What should I say? You must practice. You must have the experience, enough experience of controlling your mind. When you are able to catch your intention, of course, no doubt, you will be able to stop your bad intention. When you're about to cause to someone else, so when you notice that, oh, it is intended to cause, okay, stop. You don't cause anymore. That is the best point or good point of good result of meditating. A person who never had the experience of practicing Vipassana meditation, they can't control their mind because they never try to catch their mental action, never try to catch their physical action. Just let it go, letting them go, following the situation, enjoying the situation. So never understand the teachings of the Buddha. To understand the teachings of the Buddha, it is easy. Is it easy? Is it easy? No. So, you don't try it anymore? Don't you want to try? Hello, listeners. Do you want to go to the Nibbana? Do you want to reach Nibbana, or do you want to feel peace in your heart? Yes or no? Yes. Now you have the intention to feel the peace in your heart. So, can you see another way except practicing meditation? Apart from the practicing meditation, can you see another way to find peace in going to the nightclub? No way. Enjoying the sensual pleasure? No way. So, what do you see? Just practicing the meditation and how to control, how to catch the nama, how to catch the rupa in one action. Only then, if you realize that, oh, it is not good, you can control every action. It is the best point or best result of practicing meditation, right? So do you need to practice? Are you sure you need to practice meditation? Yes or no? Okay, if so, what are you waiting for? After this talk, where are you going? To the meditation retreat or... No, I know that very well, okay? So, the main point is, by practicing meditation, you will have peace better than before, okay? You will feel you are peaceful. You will be, more peaceful than before. When you want to feel or when you want to cultivate the peace in your heart, very, very difficult, but very easy at the same time, okay? Very difficult and very easy. Why did I say it is very difficult? Because finding the time for meditating or finding the space to meditate is very difficult because everybody like to be happy in pursuing the sensual pleasures, not the Dhamma. You don't think Dhamma is the best way to make yourself happy. Never think that way. You never think that way. Just hanging out with friends, hanging out with some special one, hanging out with one or another. Oh, it's nice. I can find the happiness in it. You are on a wrong way. You're just on a wrong way. There's no chance for you to be peaceful in the future. So now, let me ask you again. Do you want to be peaceful, really? Do you really want to be peaceful? Yes. If so, from now on, never find or never pursue the sensual pleasure anymore. Just find the meditation retreat and just practice as much as you can. Only then you will feel the peace in your heart. Okay. So, now differentiating the nama and rupa in saying a word. Saying a word. Before talking some word, what do you notice? Before talking a word, what do you notice? Intention, of course. And when you are talking, what do you notice? Mental thing. When you are talking, what do you notice? Of course, you have consciousness, your mind. You have the mind when you're talking. And you know that you're talking. It is mental thing, not a physical thing. What is your physical thing? Physical thing is now just look at me. Now I'm opening my mouth and shutting my mouth, opening my mouth and shutting my mouth. It is the action of talking, okay? And I'm producing the words and the sounds are coming out of my mouth, okay? It is physical action. Physical action is called rupa. Your intention and your consciousness is nama. Now you see the nama and rupa separately, right? Okay, now you gain nama rupa prachera jnana. Do you agree? Do you agree? Now you are at the very first level of jnana, nama rupa prachera jnana. Now you're sitting. Could you please differentiate nama and rupa? Now you're sitting. What is nama and what is rupa? Intention and consciousness. Intention and consciousness is nama and consciousness is nama. But your physical action of sitting is rupa, separately. Can you see separately? If you can see separately, now you're at the stage of nama rupa pariccheda jnana. Wow, amazing, okay? Nama rupa pariccheda jnana, okay, let me explain about that. The intention to pay obeisance, having consciousness of the object is nama, because the bodily action of paying obeisance, having no consciousness, is rupa, which is known differently. Thus, knowing the differentiation between nama and rupa is nama rupa pariccheda jnana. You got it? Now you're at the level of nama rupa pariccheda jnana. How great. Okay, let's go to the second paragraph. How paccaya parikkaha jnana is attained? 2. Because of the intention to pay obeisance, one pays obeisance. If you don't have the intention, you don't do anything, right? So, because of the intention to pay obeisance, one pays obeisance. When there is no intention, one cannot pay obeisance. The intention to pay obeisance is the cause. The bodily action of paying obeisance is the effect. Thus, knowing the cause and effect is by discerning is paccaya parikkaha jnana. Okay, now you're about to attain the second level of the knowledge, paccaya parikkaha jnana. Okay, let's talk about it. Now you're sitting. What are you doing now? What are you doing now? Sitting. Okay. Sitting. Can you notice you have the intention? Do you notice? Do you see you have the intention of sitting? If you don't have that intention of sitting, of course, you will get up. You will get off this, prayer hall. Okay? You will leave this prayer hall if you don't have the intention to pay attention to me. Okay? Now, because of your intention, willingly or unwillingly, you have to sit over here. You are sitting listening to my talk with your intention, because of your intention. So that intention is cause. Now you see the cause? Because of that cause, there will be the result, effect. What are you doing now? Sitting. It is the result. So, because of the cause, that cause is mental cause. Because of the mental cause, the physical action appears. You got it? Because of the mental cause, the physical action arises. You got it? Now you have the intention of sitting. That's why the sitting manner arises. Nama and rupa. For example, now I'm talking. Could you please cause and effect? Could you please differentiate cause and effect in my talk? Cause and effect. Okay, another thing. Now you're listening to me, right? So differentiate nama and rupa in your listening action. The intention is cause. The intention is cause. The effect is listening action. The effect or the result is listening action. So cause and effect in one listening action. And walking, could you please differentiate nama and rupa in walking manner? Intention is cause, and walking action is effect. So you see cause and effect in one step of walking. Now you see the cause and effect. When you see cause and effect, the bodily action of pain or business is the effect. Thus, knowing the cause and effect by discerning is Paccaya Parikahanyana. In Burmese, Pisya Parikahanya. Pisya Parikahanya. Now, we people always say that if there is the cause, there will be the effect. If there is the cause, there will be the effect. If there is not the cause anymore, the result, there's no way for the result to come into existence. Okay? Cause and effect, now you got it? In only one action, listening, walking, and talking. Okay, now you're talking. For example, you are talking. Could you please differentiate cause and effect? The intention to talk is cause. The talking action is effect. Can you see the cause and effect in talking manner? In talking action? Now you can see that, right? So now you attained the second stage of knowledge, Paccaya Parikahanyana. Okay? Now let's go to the third stage. How Sammasana is attained? 3. Yogis who have attained Sammasana want paying obeisance to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, teachers and parents with mindfulness. They do not have lightness and buoyancy bodily and mentally, but feels heavy and tiresome when bending and also straightening up, which can be evident, which can be clear. Thus, comprehending that pain obeisance is a kind of suffering, is attaining Sammasana. Thus, comprehending is attaining Sammasana. Now, we are talking about the Sammasana. In Burmese, Sammasana. Okay? Actually, these jnanas are very, very deep jnana and very subtle to understand. But now I am finding the clear way to make you understand those jnanas. Well, at the times of the Buddha, even the small children, they could understand the teachings of the Buddha, and they could get enlightened at the Buddha's time. Why? Because the teachers could explain using the clear way or using the simple way, not a difficult way. The Buddha was really good enough, really marvelous teacher. The Buddha was a marvelous teacher, and he knew the best way. He could find the best way to make you understand. Individual people, you have some level of knowledge, but you have lower level of knowledge, you have medium level of knowledge, you have higher level of knowledge. The level of knowledge, the levels of knowledge according to the individual people may not be the same. But if the teacher could use the simple way, everybody can understand that. Only then you are able to understand the deepest teachings of the Buddha. So now it is not difficult, it's easy now. You have to think about the reason why the children at the Buddha's time could get enlightened. Because they could understand the teachings of the Buddha because they had a chance to listen to the Dhamma by a clear way, not a difficult way, not a complex way, just the simple way. Now I'm giving you the simple way, the simplest way to understand the teachings of the Buddha. Sammasana, you have to feel the light, when you bend down your body, paying respect. Now you're about to pay respect to the Buddha. Bending your body. When you bend your body, you don't feel the lightness and buoyancy, bodily and mentally, but you When you bend down your body, you feel heavy and you feel tiresome when bending down. And when straightening up, it is also evident, heavy and tiresome. So that's comprehending that the pain of it is a kind of suffering. Only then you will see that, oh, it's not that. You can't feel the lightness in it. When you sit down, think about it. When you sit down, what do you feel? Your body gets heavier and heavier, okay? Heaviness. You will feel the heaviness. So heaviness is good or lightness is good? Which one is lightness is good? But now, what you feel is not lightness, just the heaviness. So you see that, oh, it is just the suffering. It is not easy to sit down. At first, you thought that, oh, sitting down is so easy, okay? But now you found out that sitting down is the sitting down easy? No. You feel the heaviness in it. When you get older and older, okay, sitting down is, you find it more and more difficult to sit down. You find more and more difficult to stand up when you get older and older. So what is it? It is nothing but suffering. So then you see that, oh, it is dukkha. Okay? When you notice the dukkha in every action, okay, here I'll put it in another way. When you see the impermanent nature in one action, it is called dukkha. Now I'm saying the words. Now you're listening to my words. I am saying a word. I am saying the words. I am saying the words. 6 syllables. 6 syllables. Are they permanent? No. Are they permanent? No. The Buddha said, Rupan anicca, so Rupan dukkha. Impermanent things is also suffering. Impermanent things is called suffering, dukkha. Why? Because they can't last for a long time. They just last one moment. They can just last 1 second or 1 moment. They can't last for a long time. They can't exist for a long time. We can say, oh, that is happiness, only when they exist a long time, the whole life. Is there something that can last for the whole of your life, in your life? Your age? Can your age last for the whole of your life? No. Can your youth? How about your youth? No, it can't last for the whole of your life. How about your fame? No. And how about your beauty? No. Now the young people, now you think yourself, oh, I'm beautiful, okay? But, 10 years or 20 years later, do you think what will happen to you? Okay, like that. So beauty can't last for the whole of your life. And your fame can't last for the whole of your life. That's why the Buddha taught that, oh, that's why everything is impermanent. If everything is impermanent, everything is dukkha. In another way. When you see the dukkha, when you understand the dukkha in one action, it is called, now you attain the third stage of level, third stage of knowledge, sammasana. Now, do you feel yourself you're at the third stage? Now you people are at the third stage now. Very, very, lucky person. Today, only in one talk, you have 3 levels of knowledge now. You attained 3 levels of knowledge now. When you see that, oh, it is impermanent. Talking is impermanent. Words are impermanent. And every action is impermanent. Every action can't last for the whole of your life. Every action can't last more than 1 second. Okay? Nothing can last more than 1 second. So you see that, oh, everything is changing every second. That's why everything is dukkha. When you see impermanent nature, when you see suffering, when you feel that, oh, it is suffering, that is called, you are at the level of sammasana. You are just classifying, you are just touching mentally. This is suffering. This is suffering. You are approaching, you are choosing the way how to approach to your action. Now you found out the best way to approach your action. You see impermanent nature. You see impermanent nature in every action. When you see the impermanent nature in each action, it is called you are at the third stage of jnana, sammasana jnana. You got it? Okay, let's go to the fourth stage. How Udayabbaya jnana is attained? For yogis who have attained Udayabbaya jnana, when paying obeisance to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, teachers and parents, and on straightening up, have no feeling of heaviness, but have the feeling of lightness step by step, and the feeling of become evident or become obvious. Realizing the lightness and buoyancy step by step is the experience in the tender part of Udayabbaya jnana. This initial part of Udayabbaya jnana, arisings and passings away, are not very evident yet. Lightness and buoyancy step by step is likely to be more evident or more obvious. Okay, let's explain about it. Now you have attained, if you have the Udayabbaya jnana, if you attained Udayabbaya jnana when paying obeisance to the Buddha, and or straightening up your body back, straightening up, you don't have the feeling of heaviness when you straighten up your body. For example, now look at my arm. Dropping down, dropping down, dropping down. I feel the heaviness in this action. When I lift it up, I feel the lightness in it. So here you feel the lightness. Feeling of heaviness, you don't have the feeling of heaviness, but have the feeling of lightness step by step. Look at me. Lifting up, lifting up, lifting up, lifting up, or bending, 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 step by step. I feel the lightness in step by step action. So the feeling of wellness become evident. Realizing the lightness and the buoyancy step by step is the experience in tender part of Udayabbaya jnana. When you feel the heaviness when you drop down, when you feel the lightness when you lift up. Just look at me. Now I'm going to drop down my hand. When I drop down my hand, I feel the heaviness. When I lift up my hand, I feel the lightness. When you feel heaviness and lightness in those two actions, it is you are at the tender part of Udayabbaya jnana. Okay? The tender, the smooth, or the basic part of Udayabbaya jnana. This initial part of Udayabbaya jnana, arisings and passings away, are not very evident yet. You don't see arising and you don't see passing away. In Burmese, you don't see pipya. Okay? You don't see pipya. At the very first step, you don't see what is pya, what is pya, what is arising or what is disappearing. You don't see that. But you just feel heaviness and lightness in your action. It is the tender part of Udayabbaya jnana. Arising and passings away are not very evident yet. Lightness and buoyancy step by step is likely to be more evident when the yogis reaches the mature part of Udayabbaya jnana. Now, you are about to attain the mature part of Udayabbaya jnana, so pay attention. Okay? Udayabbaya jnana. After paying obeisance to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, teachers and parents, and on straightening up, the feeling of lightness and buoyancy are not continuous, but are having intervals. The spelling is wrong. Intervals. Not continuous, but are having intervals. It arises step by step. After one step arises, it passes away. Knowing this arising and passing away step by step is the mature part of Udayabbaya jnana. Wow, great. Really great. Now you're about to get the mature part of Udayabbaya jnana, okay? How? When you see the arising and disappearing of single action. Now look at me. Now I'm bending my hand. Bending. One step. Appears and disappears at the same time, okay? Bending. Second step. Bending. Third step. Bending. Fourth step. Bending. Fifth step. So 5 steps appeared and 5 steps disappeared. You see the appearing and disappearing in each step. When you see the appearing and disappearing in each step, it is called you are at the mature level of Uddiyapaya Jnana. Okay? Now, are you at this level? Are you at this level? Appearing and disappearing. Now, do you see? Okay. Now, I'll give you another example. Now, you're smiling, right? Now, all of you are smiling because of my question. Okay, smiling. Before you smile, you were just listening to me, okay? You were just listening to me. When I asked you a question, you smiled. So the smiling appeared. And now you are listening to me seriously. You don't smile anymore. So the smiling disappeared. Did you see the appearing of your smiling and disappearing of your smiling? Did you see? So I can say that now you are at the level of mature level of Uddiyapaya Jnana. Arising, you know the arising and disappearing in each step. Okay, now let's go to the last part. How Banga Jnana is attained. Number 5. Yogis who have attained Banga Jnana after paying obeisance to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, teachers and parents, and on straightening up step by step, lightness and buoyancy are not evident. Only the passing away or dissolution is evident. This is Banga Jnana. Dissolution means ending. Okay, now you don't care about the arising anymore. You just care about the ending. You just care about the ending point of every action. You don't care about the arising. You see every disappearing of every action. You got it? For example, walking. Now, for example, you're listening to my words. 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 Now I'm talking, okay? So you're listening to my word. You see the disappearance of each word. You're listening to my word, you're listening to my word, you are listening to my word. You just see the ending point of my words, not the starting point of my word. You don't care about the starting point of my words anymore. You just care about the ending point of my word. And for example, now you are walking. You don't care about the starting point, but you care about the ending point. Only when you care about the ending point or every action, it is called you are at the level of Banga Jnana level. Banga Jnana is just seeing the dissolution, just seeing the passing away of every action. You got it? You got it? Now, let me put it in another way. After this talk, you will have lunch, okay? When you are having lunch, you have to take food many times, okay? You have to make them a morsel, each morsel, a piece of morsel, and you have to take again and again and take again and again. You will see the passing away of every morsels. Will you? Will you try? Will you try? No. You will, I'm sure, you will enjoy your lunch very much without meditating, okay? without giving attention to that morsels, to that food, but you will be just enjoying your lunch. So let me remind you that when you have lunch, please pay attention to that. Only one noting, okay? When you eat, eating. That's all. Okay. When you take in. When you put it in your mouth, put in. When you swallow that, swallow in. If so, it will be okay. I'm very glad to give you this talk, okay? Otherwise, I will be very, very sad. So, in every morsel, in every step of eating, you will see only the passing away of eating. You don't care about the starting point. You see every ending point of every action, then we can say that you are at the level of Banga Jnana. Okay? Now you're at the fourth stage. Are you? Are you? Are you? No, no, you're at the fourth stage. Okay, you have to try it like that. You have to practice like that. Okay, let me go to the last stage. 6. Yogis who pay obeisance with mindfulness, thus knowing the difference between nama and rupa, attain nama rupa paricheda jnana. Or knowing the cause and effect by discerning, attains paccaya parikaha jnana. Out of the 3 characteristics, anicca, dukkha, and anatta, on knowing dukkha by comprehension attains sammasana jnana. On knowing the arisings and passings away attains uddiyapaya jnana. And knowing only the passings away attains Banga jnana. The yogi himself knows the 5 levels of vipassana jnana. Now, you attained 5 levels of vipassana jnana in one action. Okay? Let me repeat it. When you see nama and rupa, the difference between nama and rupa, it is called you attain nama rupa paricheda jnana. Okay, please differentiate. Now you're sitting. Your mind is nama. Your sitting physical action is rupa. Oh, now you attained nama rupa paricheda jnana. And on knowing the cause and effect, now you have the intention to sit down. It is cause. Now you are sitting. It is effect, cause and effect. So you have the paccaya parikaha jnana. And now you see that it is dukkha because now you feel uneasy sitting for a long time, right? So what is that? It is dukkha. Okay, now you could see the dukkha very clearly, right? So it is dukkha. Now you are at the level of, at the level of sammasana jnana. You have to contemplate anicca, dukkha, anatta. Then you are at the level of sammasana jnana. And you are seeing the arising and disappearing, arising and passing away of your action. So you are at the level of uddiyapaya jnana. You don't care about the starting point anymore. You just care about the ending point. So you are at the level of Banga jnana. So now you are a very, very lucky person who attained 5 levels of vipassana jnana. Okay? So that's the end of my explanation. That's the end of my talk. I need to conclude my talk in Burmese. Bhikkhu yando mya uchedadu Bhikkhu yandia atote yogi boggo yahan boggo di Tabbidam yewa alone zone dalin pipa bigondo Dukkha dhammanam sin ye jintayadu e Tamudiyan sa phichin soda the bogo lagam Atthangamensa Chochin soda the bogo lagam Yatabudam womandi atayim Paza nadi Abya byam ti nain ba be hu yue Bhagawa myaswa bya shin ko ro mya ji ti awo sa kaung swa ma twe ho cha ro mu ke ba be do ta ti